We're in the Mod Club in Toronto, and we're having a good time, man. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves one at a time? I'll tap you on the shoulder, and you can start.
Carl Bennett, FM-84. Hello.
So you want to tap?
Surely we can just go once the other person's finished talking, the other person can kick in.
We wait till
we're going to do this again,
Let's
aren't we? It's
start
going to be the
again.
whole thing again. Shall we do that again?
Let's start again.
Do you want the tap again, or you want the whole intro
I want the
again?
whole thing
intro.
again. I want the whole thing again.
Hi, all right, we're here. Okay, I'm Andy, right? And I'm here with the guys. So why don't you introduce yourselves? Let everybody know.
Hi everyone, Carl Bennett, FM-84.
Ollie Wride.
Josh Daly.
Let's do it, man. So how long have you guys been, how long has this tour been going on?
Well, we started last month. We did the West Coast tour, so we played, where'd it go again? The Troubadour in LA, and then San Francisco,
Yeah.
the Independent in San Francisco. Then we went up to Vancouver. Yeah,
we were Vancouver, then
Seattle,
then
Portland.
Yeah.
So that was the West Coast leg, and now we're on the East Coast leg. So we started in Boston, then Brooklyn,
Yes.
and then Firefly Festival down in Dover.
With the Midnight.
Yeah, and now we did
Montreal
last night,
night,
which was great. And tonight, we're in Toronto with Andy in person.
How are you guys keeping the energy going, man?
We've got bundles of energy. I think come showtime, we pump ourselves up. We get ready to go. We're always ready to go.
Copious amounts of alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No, it's actually not.
This is not really alcohol. This is vinegar. It's vinegar that's masquerading as alcohol.
You get it when you see people in the room, or you hear the reaction, because we've got Jessie Fry opening for us.
That's right. Yep.
And she's been really well received. And when you hear the reaction from the green room, you think, I mean, this is the best fun that you can have with your clothes on. Performing and traveling around, it's a privilege. So that's where the energy comes from.
So in this tour now, you've added Josh here as a
Mr. Daly himself.
Bought and paid for.
And people.
Now's your time to shine.
Seriously. So Ol got in contact with me to do a London show quite a while ago, a couple of months ago.
At the garage.
The garage.
The garage. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And that was the first show that I did with the guys, and it was so much fun. It's all down to the people that you work with, and we have a great time. And yeah, it is fun.
He's been really modest. It's because he's fucking awesome at what he does. And,
we're allowed to swear on here.
Yeah.
anything
goes
goes.
on this.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
No, Josh is great.
You can say all the words.
All the words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then my mum can't watch.
Okay. So the mums that can watch.
I can make a special mum edit.
That
Mum
would be
edit.
good.
Josh
That would
is
be great.
cracking at what he does, and
Thank you.
And we've had lots of experience touring over the years, and it was sort of the perfect choice, really, because he not only does he play guitar, he can also stand on his head.
Yeah.
No, and he sings.
I didn't see any of that.
Reasonably.
I didn't see any of that head standing there when you guys were doing the
No,
sound
that
check.
happens.
All in good time.
Yeah. I don't understand metaphors. How different is this round than when you guys toured before in terms of prep or?
It
seems bigger
similar,
this
but
time.
different.
It's a little bigger this
A little
time.
bit bigger. Yeah, everything's a little bit bigger. We're traveling now with a lighting rig.
Crew.
The crew's bigger. Yeah, the show was a little bit, just been shifted around a little bit, especially when the London show we did recently, that was way bigger. But yeah, it's just a slightly different vibe. It's just good to be back in Toronto. It's good to be back out on the road again.
Sprinklings of new material.
Sprinklings, yes. I'm not ready to crack open everything else yet, but yeah, there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
You got a sneak preview earlier on in soundcheck.
No, I did. That was fun. That's fun watching soundcheck. It's like a little private show for me.
New suits.
Oh yeah, new suits. Yeah, and I finally look a little bit more rock star like.
Yeah.
He scrubs up well, doesn't he?
I had my T-shirt the last time that I custom made, and I thought Ollie looks a little bit too rock and roll. Josh looks a little bit rock and roll. I'm gonna have to up my game. When we got the shots outside the Globe in LA, I remember my wife Lorna said it just looks like two rock stars and a tech worker.
Listen, I have a theory.
And it's accurate. And
that's why you have to make a point to when you hire all the people that help you out with tech, just make sure they look extra lame.
That's a good point.
I have a theory. If you wear a particular style of clothing off stage in your everyday life. When you're on the stage, you got to up the game.
Yeah.
You know,
I
you go
agree.
to see a show, and you're the commodity on stage. So now he looks like Brad Depp.
Apart
Brad
from Richard Depp. Brad Depp.
The world famous Brad Depp.
Who's Brad? Ollie's
We're
really
sticking with that.
up in his
That is
superstar.
superb.
Brad Depp.
Brad Depp.
So-
Brad Depp.
Brad
That's going to be your
Depp-
new nickname. Let's call him
Brad Depp is a Ukrainian
Yeah,
actor.
yeah.
And he...
And he dresses like a slob during the day.
and he's actually
Brad
very,
Depp.
very well presented.
Famous for his
and
outfits.
famous
Yeah.
for his outfits.
Pirates of the Fight Club was one of my favorites. It was one of my favorites.
That's great.
So what's going on? Because I know you have released some singles for like kind of new stuff.
Yeah,
the
Bend
last
and
one was
Break
a few
was
months
just
ago.
out about. Well, it's just only 3 months ago, Andy.
That's a few, isn't it?
That is good.
What is a few? Two?
Two. Okay, it's double.
So
double
more than a few?
It's double few.
We're not into several.
Yeah.
No,
What
not
is
yet.
several?
When you hit 7.
Is it?
I think
Is
so.
it?
Is that a
Several.
thing?
Several. Several.
it?
Several?
Suggest, we've gone past 7.
Oh no, I don't know.
Several.
Several's more like 3 or 4.
I'd say that's
Really?
a few, and a couple is 2.
We should do a
Okay.
side interview on that.
Yeah,
subject.
we should
On
dig
the
into
sort of
those
various
details.
denominations
Wikipedia.
of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bend and Break's the recent big single.
Yeah.
And so there's lots more to come. Just work on an album too, which is The Elephant in the Room, which is coming eventuly.
Is that what it's called?
It's coming eventually. That could be very... No. God. Jesus.
I know the feeling.
No. Oh, no. Oh,
This is a great interview.
Sorry.
no, I think the reason being is like a lot of people don't know that I squeeze this between day job
Yeah.
and a little baby, and and when you've got that, it takes away all your time.
Yes, it does.
And then at nights when you go to sit down and sit in front of the Mac and make some tunes, your wife's like, "No, you're not. You're going to
Yeah.
watch some TV and spend some time with me." And
Yeah.
so trying to get the time to work on it is a little bit trickier. But chipping away. And we'll get some more singles out this year, working towards the big album sometime. And the really exciting thing is we're working with a management company in New York now, so we've got a really good team behind us, really good live team behind us, so we're set up. We've got the foundations are in place, which is the way we think about it.
Here's a question. Like, now that you guys like do more sort of touring and stuff, does that change the way you think about the music you make?
I think it does a little bit. I think you start to know what songs perform really well on stage. For example, Bend and Break is an amazing live track.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's going down really well. I think people like to move at the shows and the high energy tracks. They like to sing along, of course, but I think personally, I think like the next album will be. I think we're renowned for like high energy numbers. There's people go crazy for them at the shows. So
Yeah.
and it's all about a big part of the show is audience participation and that engagement, and that's definitely going to inform the sound and the songs going forward. It's
Yeah.
it's less introspective.
Do you ever think though, like, because when you're up there singing and stuff, that you obviously have to like modulate yourself differently live than in studio? But do you ever think like when you're in recording a song, like, I'm gonna have to sing this live. I'm gonna lower this an octave.
Yeah.
Or
I
whatever.
didn't think about any of that initially. However, all of the songs I sing in the original key, bar Wild Ones, and I started singing Wild Ones in the original key on the first lap. I think we took it down.
Took it down.
I think we took it down
to
like
full semi.
yeah.
Tone.
We took it down a full tone. Well, now it's down a full tone, but it started off as half a tone, then another tone, and now because we're opening with it, I didn't want to sort of explode.
Literally.
So,
Yeah.
but all the rest of the songs, I've the more I've done it, the more I've figured out how to do it without killing myself. I mean, and that's the really tricky thing when you're doing it night after night.
Before, when it was just you two, you would sort of cover the Let's Talk song.
Yes.
Yep.
So in this version, do you sing it, or how does that work?
We just mixed it up. So Old takes the first verse, choruses. We're singing quite a lot in harmony on it, which is really cool. It's something that, well, we've worked really hard at, like trying to integrate both of our vocals for years, you know, in our old projects and stuff. So it's kind of a cool chance for us to play around with that. And
But Josh had the same issue though. When we did Let's Talk, he realised, oh shit,
yeah,
you know, that the chorus is quite challenging.
Yeah.
So And also, you know, I wouldn't have anything to fucking do. I'd just be like dancing around it.
I think it's one of those, like, when you can do it one night, like, oh yeah, just get up and just do it one night. Yeah, sure. Okay, and then the next night comes along, maybe you got a bit of like a sore throat. So, as I said, like, it's kind of cool to have him just take the reins on it, because it's a stressful song, but all
Stressful set.
all of them are.
I think a lot. Yeah, that's the thing.
There.
When you write all these tracks and every single track's a belter, you know, it means that the whole set is like a freaking vocal marathon. So I think, you know, you don't think about that when you can write each song kind of as a moment, and then when you push them all together on an album, great, but then in a live set it becomes you know, a whole different beast. So that's been a challenge, but I think for album 2 we need to balance it a little bit, the highs and the lows.
I think also when you view it in the context of an album, you know, it's sort of cemented there in time, so you can sort of show off as much as you like. You can always take things down, and I just felt like Wild Ones, out of all of them, that was like right at the top. It's really tricky to sing, and but I've, you know, figured out I look after my voice really well, and
he does vocal yoga.
Throga,
which is thanks to David Schuler,
The Bad Dreamers.
of Bad Dreamers fame.
Yeah.
And he
Wait, isn't a joke? Like it's actually called that?
Throga.
Yeah.
Throat yoga.
Throga.
Why does everything? I love that. Like everything has to be a pun. Like you can't just have a thing anymore. It's like
Throga.
Anyway.
I mean, it is what it is. It does what it says on the tin. It's about a 15-20 minute warm up that I
But
do
it's
before the
working.
show,
Yeah.
and it's great. It keeps it in check.
You know, I just realized I literally have listened to that song a million times, and I don't think I even know the lyrics. Like I just I'm all about the energy of tracks. Yeah. So like I sit there and like when I try and sing along with it, I realize like, oh, I don't know the words to this
Like-
song, but I've listened to it countless amount
But
of
no,
times.
I do that. Well, that's interesting. It depends how you listen to songs, and I'm really bad at doing this as well. I digest a lot of pop songs melodically.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to the melody the words are making.
I'm literally the opposite.
Right. No, that's interesting. So what I do is I take in the kind of the melody and the hook first, and then I listen to the vocal second. And sometimes some songs I never actually properly take in the lyrics. It's more just the melody.
Yeah.
And sometimes like yourself, when you know the song so well, but you just like, oh, I haven't even thought of the words. But yeah. I know that's completely opposite. But it just depends how you take in music, I suppose.
Sure.
It's totally subjective, but all you need to know is the melody. Babba fladda flap
Flabby, flabby, flab, flab.
something doobie.
Doobie.
Yeah, Andy, give us a rendition of what you think
Yeah,
it
fuck
says.
you.
Buy our merchandise. It's going to be on sale.
Okay, so I got a question here. I like to announce them.
Is this like a quick fire round?
No, I did.
Have you seen these cards?
No,
Oh, let's see your
no,
cards.
these are the old cards because I technically have the real Beyond Synth cards when I do the talk show because it's the real Beyond Synth.
I still want to see that. I want to
You're welcome to
be on it.
Well, you gotta come back.
Where
man.
do you live?
Well, it's like 15 minutes that way.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like an awful long way.
No, I've been- Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's
I'm sure it's lovely.
you know you can take a rickshaw or whatever, and once we get there, but
They have rickshaws?
you released a few singles.
Yes.
Now, are you still gonna put out an album?
Yes. It's really good. It's the album that no one wanted, but we gave it to you anyway.
So how's that going?
It's going great. Well, it's going to be out on the 19th of July on New Retrowave Records, and I'm really, really proud of it. Really proud of it.
You bring me back to life. Bring me back to life.
It's meant to be more of like a classic 80s pop record.
Yeah.
So it's got a bit more rock and roll in there, less synth wave, and just classic
We'll
pop
just take
tunes.
that away. Here, less synth wave.
No, it's still it's
Get
still,
off my show.
It's still got the heart of the 80s in, but it's just better. It's better.
Yeah.
It's better than synthwave.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Bold words.
Oh, come on. Everyone gets so excited about these things.
But is it pop wave?
Oh, God. What's that? What is that? We had this discussion. Anyway, that's a whole
Well, that's
nother
a-
barrel
that's-
of cock.
That's an issue for the
subgenres.
Oh,
No,
God.
but in short, it doesn't affect anything. It's just a guy's got to work.
No,
so,
listen, man, dude. I just do this for the chicks. Okay? The second you go around
Fair.
talking about synthwave, literally ladies, no, they fly at you.
Oh, right.
No, yeah, seriously.
Okay.
Like
I thought it was like...
No. I'm like that because I've got a problem. But the ladies still want it, right? Because they hear the word synthwave and they're all about it.
Really?
Yeah. This whole thing's a front. I don't even like music.
Wow.
I just anyway.
There are more girls at the show. It used to be very, very testosterone driven, and it's actually wonderful. Other than the obvious, having ladies there, but we're also our main support on this tour is
It's a lady.
a lady.
And she's brilliant.
She's absolutely fantastic.
Now, Josh, you and I just met today.
Correct.
I'm so sorry.
What is at 1980?
Oh yeah, cool. So that basically,
What was that?
easy for me to say. A really cool guy reached out to me, said he wanted to do some tracks with me. With all of this stuff, with any collaborations, I always say, look, let's try and do some writing together, see how it goes, and we just take it from there. And he sent me some stuff. I really dug it, and we've ended up doing an album together. And Dana, Jean Phoenix, she's done a track on the album as well. And
She's coming tonight.
is she?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This thing close to your face if you're going to say words.
Yeah, you need to. As most of my stuff does, it has like a late night drive feel, maybe a bit midnighty, maybe a bit, yeah, it's synthwave, but I think I always try and make it a little bit more pop, like try and bring in some of like, I don't know, yeah, a bit of pop style to it as well.
So you have 4 more days, man? You looking forward to rest and relaxation?
Yeah, well, where are we tomorrow? Oh, day off tomorrow. Thank goodness.
It's in the back of a van.
Traveling.
How long is that drive?
Where are we going?
Cleveland. We're off to Cleveland, and then we're going to Chicago, and then we're going to play at Electric Forest, which is going to be pretty
that's-
awesome on Sunday night.
The stage that we've got at that festival
it's
is
big.
nuts.
Nice.
It's off its face.
Our lighting
Yeah,
guy
it's
was playing around with
really cool.
with the lighting rig. He's got like
It's
this
a visualizer.
visual. Yeah, thank you.
It's a visualizer.
Yeah, it is, and it has all of the lights on it, and it's nuts. He was saying that he thought it was about a $5 million rig,
Jesus.
including
So whatever
the sound.
that means.
So we don't know what
it's
that means.
expensive, so it must
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah.
It just ends up being one just big circle light, and like that's the whole thing.
I'm pretty sure it takes off.
yeah.
I don't know. They haven't said, but I'm pretty sure.
It looks really cool. I
Yeah.
think it might be the crowning moment.
yeah.
Yeah,
Whether
we're
that's
pumped.
a positive thing or a negative.
Yeah. Well, it's in a tent, and we're kind of secretly hoping it rains so everyone
Yes.
comes inside
Yeah,
the
we
tent.
were saying that.
Yeah.
You know what I
Whoops.
mean? At
Yeah.
festivals, everyone seeks shelter, and people are like, oh, what is this crazy cool music? Wow. Yeah, well, that's one of the things. A lot of people are making the music that didn't live in the 80s or weren't, you know, and it's a kind of a variation of what they think 80s music was.
Yes.
And I think some people are really, really, I mean, for example, Sunglasses Kid gets the production and everything completely accurate. I mean, that's 80s.
He's on the money.
Whereas, you know, FM-84 is a bit of 80s, a bit of 90s kind of dance music, and a little bit 2000s kind of indie rock.
Sure.
It's a little bit of everything. But I think a lot of people are trying to, try and copy it. You know, a lot of people are trying to, I want to sound like Time Cop Night, I want to sound like the Midnight. Go and sound like yourself. Go and wrap up all of your influences that you listen to as a kid, you listen to now, everything that rocks your world, and make music that sounds like that. And that's the way to cut through. That's because it'll sound different from everyone else.
Yeah, well, I think because we've reached the point now, it's funny where it's like, even though the scene has only been around for like so many years, that there are now people who come in whose influences are other synthwave acts
Exactly,
from the
yeah.
beginning of
And-
the scenes, and so it was a very different place. Even when I started doing the show, like that was like 2013, and like sort of 2012 was when people started kind of congregating and like around the Synthetics forum and things like this, and it was really different because people were really just purely pulling from their influences. There wasn't like
exactly.
that was before the YouTube tutorials and things like that.
Exactly.
The only way it can sort of be recognised and taken more, become more legitimised as a style or as a genre is if people continue to be creative with it and not just
You have to push
Yeah.
it. a little bit.
copy so directly, because sometimes it's so on the nose and it's just
Yes.
like, come on.
Like when we were watching the Midnight, Cole, when we were standing
Yeah, they were
there,
great.
I didn't feel like I was watching a synthwave concert.
No,
I
it
was
was
just
like-
watching a concert.
We're watching a band do
Yeah.
their
and
thing.
just doing the
Exactly.
thing, and it was great. And I don't think that you could. Yeah, I think when it's you're really enjoying something, and like, is it synthwave? Is it not? I don't know.
It doesn't matter
Like,
at the end of the day, as long as people are enjoying it. But I think the only way that this scene can survive or flourish, should I say, is
Yeah.
people continue to push.
Yeah.
And it's both incumbent upon the artist and the audience.
What I've always considered synthwave, or what I consider that portal that brings me to my nostalgia, isn't so much the structure of music, but the palette, like the actual sounds themselves.
Fair.
Because this was like, because
Yeah.
I was talking to Sunglasses Kid about this, and that's what he brought up. Because when he was talking about synthwave and 80s inspired stuff, like he knows the structure. So it's like, no, this is what a synthwave song is. It's this, and these things. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, I like the sounds. I like specific retro
I
sounding.
understand.
And so that's how I've been judging it this whole time. And maybe there's not a right way or a wrong way to sort of categorize. I mean, I think
Yeah.
I'm right, but it's like
you are right.
yeah, but so that's the way I've been, because a lot of people are making music where you hear it, it's like they're using retro sounds, like, oh, that's an 80s, like kind of like bass sound and stuff, but they're making like trance music, but it's like,
Sure.
but they're using all these retro sounds, and to me, I'm like, well, that's fucking synthwave because it's got retro noises.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to a lot of artists like St. Lucia, Carly Rae Jepsen's last album was, I mean, so much 80s production.
Taylor
in it.
Swift.
Taylor Swift's last album was like layered with 80s sounds, but I mean, they're not labeled synthwave, they're
Yeah,
just pop.
exactly, it's just
pop with
pop.
a little bit of 80s influence.
Exactly.
And I think that's it's trying to find a balance, because a lot of artists have done that 80s influence thing, you know. If you push that too hard, you'll just, that was done a couple of years ago, Taylor Swift was doing that a couple of years, you have to try and find your little thing, and that's the challenge, you know.
She's making great records.
Yeah,
That's
exactly, good songs.
If you love it, then it's easier to put out into the world.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think that's, if you don't love the track, and why should anyone else?
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing gets released until we all love them, and then it's and everyone goes woohoo.
Precisely, but that's the sort of same ethos that we bring to our shows as well. It's just when you come to see it, it's not meant to be
Exactly.
like, oh, I'm going to see a synthwave concert. If anything, it's got like a more of a rock and roll spirit to it at the core. But it's
Stadium like thing.
Yeah.
We're going for like stadium wave.
Yeah.
I'm not coining anything. Don't even.
I like when people
no,
like wave
Stad
on it.
wave.
Stad
Yeah.
no.
There's gonna be stag
no,
wave.
The whole
Yeah.
live
Stag
show,
wave.
the whole ethos is like, we want to put on a show that we'd want to pay to come and see. Like, what, you know, you put it through those layers of what's going on, what's the energy like, what's the whole kind of theatre like, and is it something you'd want to come in? And I think, you know,
I think that's where we cut through.
I hope so.
I think that's where we offer. I mean, in fact, I'm proud to say that we do. I think we offer something different. Certainly in the scene, it's meant to be. I think it stands up in its own right, like the Midnight guys
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
They do their own thing, and we do our own
Yep.
thing. And the thing is, we're not touring with like a full production like we did in London.
Yeah.
We had a live
Oh,
drummer as
yeah.
well, and it was
Ooh.
like we had
Oh,
a
that
was
even
so
bigger
cool.
rig, and it's like a 1,500 cap
Yeah.
room, and it was packed.
yeah, it was
and
packed.
maybe for the next run, if it exceeds, then we can
Yeah.
continue with that. But it's this is like a slightly condensed version, but from the last time you've seen it, it's actually it's a big step up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
that with having the drummer there as well, it's like stratospheric.
Yeah, that's the dream though, isn't it? To tour with the
Yeah.
drummer. Hopefully,
Yeah.
album 2. You know, people like the fans that that are there come back, and we make some new fans along the way, and it sparks a whole new thing.
Yeah.
And then we can tour globally with the drummer. Costs a lot more, but hopefully it's bringing in a
Look at the
lot
figures.
more.
Maybe we just hire a dude who just looks like he's drumming. Like, don't
Well,
plug the drums into anything.
That's the big thing that I have with with a lot of live performance in the scene. Is a lot of
Phony baloney.
Yeah,
is that,
it's
is that
gotta
a
be
British
real.
expression?
phony balloon.
Yeah.
There you
Gotta
go.
be real.
It's got to be real. Like, if you go and see any band worth their salt, they're playing the instruments, and especially on this tour, there's a lot more evidence of that, and it just became very apparent with the bigger shows that we've done that you can't fake it. And if people are paying $20-$30 a ticket more, you've got to be I mean, can't do everything, of course, because otherwise we'd need to be an octopus or some sort of four-headed gorgon. But so we
Doing as much as
we
we can.
consolidate it, but it's played.
How much better could you perform if you had 4 heads?
I don't know, lots of eyes. But
You're going to be hitting the buttons.
yeah,
with the
but
fucking head.
the point is that on this tour, there's more evidence of actual realism and live playing. There's less. Not that was like smokescreens before, but there's a lot of limitations with the genre because it's very expensive to perform live, and I don't take that away from anybody. But
I would totally put mannequins. Like I've said this to people too. I'm like, dude,
Chromeo does that with the legs, though. I think that's
they're cool.
That really cool keyboard stands.
yeah, but I would do like if I was going to perform and I had no money and I needed to create
the
some sort
illusion.
of
I see what
stage
you're
presence,
doing, yeah.
I'd put fucking mannequins on stage, man, because it
It's
would
not a
be
bad
part
idea.
of the aesthetic.
not a
But
bad
then
idea.
again, you've come up with a concept, which
Yes.
is we're probably going to steal.
Well, I'm an ideas guy.
I'm an ideas guy. Hire that guy.
So okay, guys.
Mannequins.
What's the craziest thing that's happened to you guys while you've been on the road?
Oh man.
This.
This. Yeah. No.
You've been getting up to some crazy antics on that bus.
No, it's just the lad.
of us
The
are
lad
like,
humor is a
careful.
little bit.
What can we say?
Put it this way: I keep saying the FM-84 HR department's on the phone
Oh,
most
yeah.
minutes of the day.
We've got
We
an
had to
HR
expand
department.
the HR department because
Yeah.
some of the shit that comes out is
Yeah. It's,
Well, you guys are a randy bunch, right?
poor Jessie. Oh my god.
You kidding me? She's like
She
Actually,
No,
gives
she
the
said
worst.
she's like they're treating me like a little princess.
Oh.
That's what she said.
That's good.
And I said that doesn't sound like them.
No, Jessie's great.
yeah. No,
No,
she is.
it's a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely. No, it's some good. It's good fun. It's all good nature and it's all good fun.
this is where Smoke and Mirrors happens.
Actually, the bus journeys are pretty quiet. Josh is pretty much on
He's
Instagram.
got
with his
some
phone
new
like this.
noise-cancelling
Josh is like this for
headphones.
most of
Nice.
the time. This is how
I've-
Josh lives.
I'm asleep most of the
Pretty
time.
much that. Phone, headphones, he's asleep.
Yeah.
I'm asleep, and that's about
okay,
it.
I am really like I feel like an old man, but like Bluetooth technology like isn't as good as I got these Bluetooth headphones for my computer.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some wireless computer because I'm always getting tangled in the fucking cord.
What sort of headphones are you repping though?
Well, I got medium goodness. Like I can't afford
You
like
need
the
to
fucking
be
those
going for
stupid
the big
Behringer.
boys.
Those what are the ones that are like $1,000? Like I can't do it. But Bluetooth technology is like. It doesn't work the way I want it to, right? So I have a Mac, right? So instead of it sending the signal of the computer to the headphones, it's like every little program wants to send an individual signal like directly to the headphones, and so they like cancel each other out. Like I
okay.
press pause on iTunes, and then like
can
my
be bad.
YouTube
It can
YouTube
be
audio
bad.
would go away.
Oven turns on.
Yeah, man, it's fucking.
Why does it do that though?
It's stupid.
It can be bad.
I mean, maybe I'll get one of them fucking $10,000
Well, actually,
Macs, and I'll be-
the earpods just work fine.
I tend not to sort of go down the messy river of Bluetooth.
Yeah,
I try and avoid it.
Are you a wire man?
I'm a wire man.
He's an
I
analog man.
I like holding a wire and using the wire.
Have you ever seen The Wire?
I actually
I
haven't.
actually haven't.
No.
See, neither have I.
No,
I've
neither
heard it's
have
a
I.
good television program.
Oh shit,
I
we're
have
all
this.
okay. So that never
I haven't.
happens.
I haven't.
All right.
To be in
watched
the,
The
be in
Wire
the company of a bunch of people that none of them have seen
That's
The Wire.
actually quite nice, though.
Yeah.
Because usually everyone's seen everything. Oh, you've been watching. No.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't actually. I will actually say this will probably get me crucified, but I actually haven't
Don't
watched.
say it. I know what you're going to say. Game of Thrones. Dude,
Game
you
of
do
Thrones.
I
have
wanted.
to.
Do you know
You
why?
do
There was a
have to.
conscious decision why, because it was like Breaking Bad. I waited until it was over.
It's too violent for Ollie.
Yeah.
He doesn't like dragons.
He's afraid
Yeah.
of boobs.
and blonde girls.
Not on your Nelly.
Yeah.
Suitable for babies upwards.
Yeah.
Breast.
So I waited till the hype dies down, then I can get fully invested in it, and I just,
Yeah. I can dig that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got into Vikings, and then I bailed on the last two episodes for some reason.
Vi-
Drives me
Vikings
nuts.
is good.
But when people like
I don't
refuse
know.
to watch one show and
I
then
wasn't
like
refusing. I just got invested in something else. I can't sort of scatter watch.
I do the same damn thing. I literally started watching HD remasters of Baywatch.
That's cool. Vintage Baywatch. Like proper
Something.
Baywatch,
Yeah, but
yeah?
But the problem is
proper Hasselhoff Baywatch.
Yeah, but they
really?
did they mastered it in
Finch's good for
HD,
that.
but then they've changed the aspect ratio. So they're taking
Oh,
taking
no.
the square frame and they're making it
And making
Don't
it wider.
HD.
I don't want to mess with Pamela.
No, but they
no,
can
and
make
you do,
it
and
wider.
it does, right?
Could be
No,
good.
no, it's not because they don't stretch it. they cropped the tops and the bottoms. So
Oh,
now there's a
no.
whole bunch
Oh.
of shots that are
Oh,
like,
no.
you're like, where's the cleavage in this
Yeah,
shot? Like
it's
you
not
feel
there.
robbed.
It's gone.
Anyway, look, let's.
No, we need to go back to
I love
old
that you
school.
feel robbed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
well,
I feel robbed. by
God damn it! This is not what I
Hey, man,
subscribed.
I pay $79 a year for my Amazon Prime membership, and that's mostly just to receive packages. But you know, if they're going to put
Like most people.
booby shows on, and
What,
cut the
Baywatch
boobies
is on
out.
Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Perfect, there we go.
He's got some tour bus viewing now.
Thank you very much.
You know what's really weird is like that show started out like serious. Like I watched the pilot. I watched the pilot as a joke. I'm just like, I'm going to put this on as a joke. I watched the whole fucking thing, and I was like,
You
there's-
got really invested in it.
yeah, and I was like, wait, this show isn't as like, was tawdry the word? I've never used that word before.
I think you should stick with it.
Yeah. Anyway, but it gets more salacious in the later seasons.
Yeah.
They went into syndication, and then they decided since they didn't have a network, they could just show
They
titties
could
all the
just
time.
get- yeah, fam.
Whereas before, when it first started, it was like they're making a serious program about. But then there's only like 2 problems you can have. So like every episode, it's just like, oh, there's a riptide. I'm like, there's a fucking riptide last week. Like every week, there's a riptide. The show should have been
Maybe
called
this
fucking
one's a bigger riptide.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a octopus attack or something.
Yeah.
Octopushy.
That would be good.
Octopusher.
And
We're trying to do that shit.
No.
No,
I'm
that
trying
was
to get a
Roger
good.
though.
Oh, was that shit?
That was Roger.
I'm trying to get a good Sean.
Octopushy.
He was a little.
Octopusy.
I can't do the baritone.
So how you doing?
It's not bad.
But he's got the white
I'm
jacket. the
just
white
thinking
tux.
that you're a shite for sure, Ash.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
But
quite
you know, you're a shite.
That's
You're
quite
a
good.
shite.
Yes. It sounds
Yeah,
like
so
you've
nice.
lost mobility in your
in your
face.
face.
Well, it's like when
Yeah.
people
I
add
don't know
the
why
extra
I'm
thing.
putting
It's
a
the same
fake
with the
Scotch
fucking
accent.
revved up like a douche. With the who sings that again? A fucking
Manfred Mann, Blinded by the Light.
blinded by and then like revved up like a douche.
and
Yeah.
like a runner in the night.
That song, like I've always wondered, like,
Is that where that came from? Like a runner in the night? That's a good lyric. Didn't you use that one?
What?
Like a runner in the night?
No,
not running in the night. Don't worry, not that. I
thought you weren't gonna be so on the nose.
No, I'm not. I'm not being sarcastic.
All right.
I think that was a lyric.
It's very
Or maybe
difficult
it was
whether
on
the
Mace
lines
Rock.
of sarcasm here are
Yeah,
just.
because we're so dry.
I know it's Rod.
Yeah, it was
Rod.
Rod. Yeah, it was like, yeah.
Well, look, it's lovely to have you guys here, man. And
Thanks,
Lovely
Andy.
to be here.
Nice to be
I'm-
back.
Yeah, I'm always happy
Yeah.
when you guys visit. I put on a nice white jacket
You
just
do.
for the
Yeah,
occasion.
it
I
looks
like
very
Looking
pretty.
good.
It
I
looks
got
like-
this at the Le Chateau Outlet Mall, about 40 minutes out of Toronto.
Plug.
I mean, you sent me a load of jacket links beforehand, and you said, "Are you wearing this? Are you going to get this?" And you
Yeah, no,
got something,
I
which
did,
is
but
very
you,
nice.
but you know what though? With the jacket, it's the one that's got like sort of the weird kind of Nagel-looking art all over it. Like it's
Okay.
but it's like a collage, but they're like all different, right? So the one in the picture, I liked specifically the placement of the images.
And now it's
Yes.
completely different.
Yeah, and like mine looks different.
And you thought, "Oh, that looks fantastic!"
Just like that. It's perfect.
That's the problem now with this whole thing is I don't know how much of what I do is ironic,
Yeah. I know
satire,
the
or
feeling.
what I really like. Because
Yeah.
I really like all this stuff, and so I look at a jacket like that, and it's like I'm sort of giggling, like this is a silly thing, but secretly I'm like, but if I look
That's
good
really
in it, then
cool.
I'm gonna say it's cool.
Yeah.
So
Well,
You're a man after my own heart.
yeah. Well, let's complete the transaction up there in the green room or whatever.
let's do it.
But look,
I'll
listen.
get the mattress.
Cheers, Andy.
Thanks for chatting, and thanks for coming and
you.
performing, and it was fun. I enjoyed the sound check. It was like a little private show for me, and that made me feel good about myself.
Good.
And yeah, man, it's always nice to see you guys, and nice to meet you.
Yeah, lovely
And we'll
to
have
meet
to have
you
you
too,
on the
mate.
show proper. We'll do it. We'll do
Sure.
an episode
Yeah,
sometime.
yeah,
'cause,
mate.
Bear in mind, it's a
You're-
15-minute drive from here.
well, no, I mean,
Oh no,
You can do it on
Maybe
Skype.
another time.
yeah. We'll do the
No,
internet
of
version.
Of course, man.
But yeah.
Pleasure.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Perfect.
Andy.
Cheers, man.
Bye, everyone.